Now this is a shock to everyone. I ran another poll over on my Discord. If you haven't been there yet, check the link in the description. And the votes were inconclusive. But I have to watch something. So, might be starting on Lucky Star. It's been something that I've been kind of wanting to watch for a while. It's one of the animes where a few years ago, long before I started the channel, there was someone who was quite often talking about Lucky Star and how much they kind of grew up and loving it and enjoying it. And I want to know if they're wrong. I've watched a few things which are just insane chatter between friends. The comings and goings, what can really happen on daily life. So this can't really go wrong. Let's definitely get going. Okay, well, I didn't expect to get straight into seeing something like a stage show. There's no slowly easing into Lucky Star, apparently. And I'm fairly certain that I've walked like that at some stage. I know that there are some people who can possibly be put off by the art styling of Lucky Star. Yeah, all of their eyes practically look the same. Maybe just slightly different shapes. But let me guess, their personalities within the show actually aren't too far off of this. Starting off with track and field. Fast. Because it'd be too much effort. Understandable, even with great potential. You don't want to be eating into your free time. But if you... Yeah, that's a good question. Wouldn't all the... These are the kind of conversations that usually happen. It's like, what is it? Which one is the top? And then it gets derailed. Which would you rather eat, a seashell or a caterpillar? There you go, there's my issue with it. It's a never-ending battle, isn't it? Until it drips and spills everywhere, all of your clothes. Oh, that got. Don't you come in here with your sensible suggestions. Does she remove it? Separates it into its constituent parts. Also, did she just happen to have a cream puff on her? One side, top side gets the cream, bottom side gets the custard. She just has these things. I actually follow her way of eating these things. Each thing has an order. I mean, they're structured like that. I would force myself to eat the thing. Then again, a single slice of cake would never be too much to finish. Yes? How often is that an issue for her? I prefer ice cream over popsicles, but I don't really care for the cone. Yep, of course, get the most out of it. With a tongue. With a little white action. We've had 5 minutes of talking about how we eat. I think we're really getting a tone set up. Fried eggs or so. I do have some eggs and I do have some soy sauce. Yeah, eggs and Worcester sauce is quite good. So you're eating the entire family, yeah. I've seen people try to eat natto, and there's not many people who seem to enjoy it on the first try. I have a way of eating fried eggs which is slowly cutting away all the white, leaving only the yolk fully intact. And then having the yolk last, leaving no mess on the plate. Because I am efficient. Actually, that's like the opposite of efficient. My brother does this for everything, even to this day. There's no end of packets of sweets or cake or anything that comes in like a collection. One can be left. So you got that one left in the cupboard for years. Yeah. You've been doing it wrong. But you've not noticed that all the onions fall off? Or has it not been that big of an issue for her? Getting back to the main point at hand. And one that's been answered. This took a shift. You can't blame games entirely. Does that mean that she has that kind of... But does that mean that she has those kind of thoughts of kidnapping, making people call her master? Okay. So she is the smart and well-to-do, yet kind of a klutz. I mean, she's just saying what a lot of people are thinking. I don't know if I've really said it, but I have no end of issues with trying to wear contacts. Meaning I cannot. Yeah, I can't get anything near my eyes. Oh no, I'm too much. Am I cute? Maybe a disaster to among Amon herself, but for everyone else watching, seems to be fun. Does flu target intelligence? Must be why I never get sick. Super cold. Now let's get into talking about illnesses, epidemics, epidemiology. That doesn't seem to be the answer that she was expecting. Leveled up. And got some experience from infecting. Was that something that she wanted denial on? Embrace the idea of being stupid. Not what you'd want to see after waking up. And it actually does it where it's like actual people talk, where they're talking over each other. I did like that about Konosuba when I saw it. Hey, because of this. Is she rummaging through your shelves now to find something to... Now she's got what she needed, she can go. Slightly better of a visitor than the others. How much of a nurse figure is she going to be while she's ill? I very, very rarely ever had any time off school, apart from when I had pneumonia. Didn't have to do any schoolwork while I was away. I think you just by knowing the people that you hang out with, you should know something happened. And simultaneously attempt to get notes on the homework. She might be too naive to think everything that is done is for something like that, though. Of course, yes. Blame time itself. How long is it going to be before they just straight up start talking about the weather? I definitely have not spent too many hours sleeping and waking up in the afternoon before. Now this is a conversation that we could skip out on for 10 minutes, come back, and we would have lost no valuable information. Not that many. Did she have a big breakfast? Ah. No one's supposed to come out of there okay with their existence. Why was he looking in the locker? Did she hit the nail right on the head there? Are they all online? See, these are the kind of conversation that I could get into. I haven't played many like multiplayer games where I've actually met people and stayed kind of friends with them. Hardcore hikikomori, yeah. Turns out it's actually someone they know. Huh. Wait, is that some like Street Fighter? Yes, it's Guile. K.O. But he wasn't entirely a lie. That poor foreigner. Does it get in like the way of her other programs and whatnot? Called it. Damn those sports games! Why should they exist? Oh, for God's sake. Yes, you save the best bits until last. Ah. I don't really look like caramelized onions or overcooked onions anyway, so... Damn, now you have to change which end we think is the head, because I don't want to think too much like her. Well, that ended that. And... Wait, you had one? That's shocking. That would be why she made a friend. Ayo. I think the wardrobe department needs to find her some clothes that fit. You don't quite fit the energy. Bum ba da ba. But you definitely need someone to kind of bounce off of the overwhelming pressure of that girl. Is this just acknowledging the step to an anime from source material? I think it depends on the idol. The look of abject horror. Oh, she changed her tune. I like it. Now you're being too real. She's led a tough life. Is all of this going on air? Either she's very, very good at ad-libbing, or someone needs to step in and have a look at her home life. Thank you. Huh? This really skips around everywhere. How many days of school did we pass in one episode? It reminds me of like the back and forth of Nishijo, where it's just a bunch of them talking together about nonsense. Any kind of occasion or occurrence that gets fought up on the spot and written about. Da 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 da. How can you be too loud when singing karaoke? I guess this is one way to end an episode. I do like the extra little bits of sound effects that they put in, like with the presenter girl scratching, or the very slow, unenthusiastic clapping. Sometimes sleeping too long leaves you exhausted. Next time, I'll be waiting on the edge of my seat. It really doesn't seem as though there's any overarching plot. Just sit back and enjoy the chatter, and maybe learn a thing or two. Which end is the right end? How to properly eat cake? And whether or not onions are truly part of the meal or just a garnish. As long as we don't pick up the habit of attacking foreigners. That's something as someone from Britain. I feel like there's probably a character in here already that a lot of us might be able to resonate with. And obviously, it's been a fair few years since I was in high school. And yeah, I kind of miss those conversations that we had. Those ones that really led to no betterment of anyone. Actually, it might have ended up with everyone in the nearby vicinity becoming ever so slightly dumber just by hearing it. There are little bits in this already which I've seen, which is some animes just have, background characters standing around talking and whatnot, but some of them, when they're not just silhouettes, have things they are doing. It might have only been once or twice in this episode, but at least it was there. But all the talk in this episode really made me think and ponder. When you're eating ice cream with a cone, and those ones which have it doesn't reach all the way bottom, there's a hole. So when the ice cream starts to melt, it drips through. What are you supposed to do with that? You can't just start sucking on the bottom. Not in public, at least. But as a start, we saw the characters. We get to know a little bit more about them, their personalities, their eccentricities, their mannerisms. And I kind of just want it to continue as it is. It's a nice little detractor from other things that I'm watching. So if you want to see more of the slow life from a bunch of friends, let me know. If you enjoyed this, put it down below, like the video, maybe even consider joining by subscribing to the channel. Lucky Star is, There's probably going to be a lot of references that I miss, that I don't quite understand, that I can't say too old to get. See you in the next one. My patrons are the strawberry that is to be eaten last to the not-so-sweet dessert that is my channel. And if you have no issues whatsoever choosing in which order to properly scarf things down, consider joining on to my Patreon. And there alongside Sal, Electricant, Arthea, Noku, Raywin, Shiwan, Mecha, Jennifer Rojas, Stinsfire, Big Boy, Matt, Rasmus Paulson, Girly, Dark Shadow 7899, Kite, Saltytron, Maurizio Lozano, and everyone else. And honestly, I could stand here talking about sweets and food all day long. I'm sure we all have some anime to get watching.